Hello everybody, so this is my first video for BookTube, and as this lovely video camera of mine was a Christmas present, I thought it would only be appropriate to show off some more of my lovely Christmas presents and do my Christmas book haul. So here we go. I have 10 books. I have already read 2 of them, so I will start with those. Sorry, I have a sore throat. Also, excuse how completely trash my room looks. I am aware that it looks completely trash. Anyway, book 1. Book 1 is The Hangman's Curse by Frank Peretti, which was I enjoyed it. It was not my favorite of his books that I have read. I think that's probably just because it was a much different genre, much different demographic. I think it's written for a younger age. It's not what he usually writes. It's a murder mystery, not like the Oath or anything. Just a straightforward. There's an investigator. There's a murder. There is intrigue and all of that nonsense. So it was pretty good though. It had a very unexpected ending. It's quite short, quite readable. Not the first thing I would recommend when it comes to Frank Peretti's books, but I would recommend it. Second book is Black by Ted Dekker, which is quite an intriguing story, as it is about a man who goes between 2 different worlds when he dreams, and we don't know if the waking world is real, or if the dream world is real, or if neither are real, or both are real, and it's insane. And the only problem I had with this was the same problem I have with a lot of Ted Dekker's books, because he's very, very good at characters. He's very good at more scientific and realistic elements of writing, but he is not very good at world building or at developing any of those more fantastic elements. They get very vague and confusing, a bit muddled at points, so I didn't really like that, but other than that, I quite enjoy it, as I enjoy all of his books. They get very insane, so if very insane stories are something you're looking for, then definitely check out anything by Ted Dekker, including this. Number 3 is Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which, as you can see, I'm about halfway through, and I am very much enjoying it. I mostly picked this up because of Jesse the Reader. I pick up a lot of stuff because of Jesse the Reader, including one of my favorite trilogies ever, which is the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I actually got to meet him at the Library of Souls kickoff in Atlanta last summer and talk to him about it, which was amazing. One of the most fun things I have ever done, personally. And V.E. Schwab is another one of those authors that he just gushes over, so I thought I would give it a try, and so far this book has definitely deserved the hype. In my opinion, it deserves even more hype than it's gotten already, and I don't like to recommend books before I've actually finished them, because for all I know the ending could suck, but if I did do that, I would definitely recommend this book, and I have a feeling I'm going to be recommending this book to a lot of people by the time I have finished it. Number 4 is Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I have never actually read a book by Terry Pratchett. I know, I need to get on that, but as the lingo goes, I am a total stan for anything by Neil Gaiman. It doesn't matter what it is, what genre, what plot, no matter how insane it would normally sound. If it's Neil Gaiman, I will read it, regardless of what it's about, and this just looks, as I said, insane. As far as insane books go, this is one of the most so that I have come across, but I have a feeling that I am going to end up loving it, as I end up loving all of his other books. So I will probably make a video about Neil Gaiman at some point. Number 5 is Stormfront by Jim Butcher, the first book in the Dresden Files series. Oh, I forgot to mention Black is the first book in a series, too. It's the first book in the Circle trilogy, in case anybody cares about that. But this book, there's actually a Dresden Files Book 0, which is a comic, and I have read the comic, and I quite enjoyed the comic. It's called Welcome to the Jungle, and I just fell in love with the character of Harry Dresden, and he is definitely in my niche. Like, that's some supernatural detectives, paranormal detectives is something that I will do any story that involves that. I love Supernatural. I love anything involving John Constantine. He is one of my favorite characters of all time. I even have a t-shirt with his business card on it. I'll wear that in a video sometime. And so, that being said, I think I am going to very much love the character of Harry Dresden, even more than I did in the comic. And I think I am very much going to enjoy reading the actual print series. I've also thought about picking up the audiobook, which is not something I do often, but James Marsters is the narrator of the audiobook, and for any Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans out there, that's basically all I need to say. James Marsters. You know what I'm talking about. Number 6. This is 6, right? I know how to count. Yes, this is number 6. Book number 6 is The Cemetery Boys by Heather Brewer, which is this very lovely hardcover thing. This is actually the second hardcover Heather Brewer book I got. I have the first of the Slayer Chronicles, First Kill, in hardcover, and it is also signed. I was so very happy that I was able to get a signed copy. It is one of my most prized possessions to date, because she's amazing. I want to meet her someday and tell her that she's amazing. And I know that this is a very different vein from the Vladimir Todd series and the Slayer Chronicles series, but I'm hoping that it will still have some of that voice and that humor that made those books as good as they were, even if the Slayer Chronicles didn't actually have that much humor in it. That was kind of a depressing book in parts, but I hope... oh, sorry about that. I hope that it still has that kind of... I don't really know how to put it, just that Heather Brewer-ness to it. I hope that tone, that... I don't know what I'm saying. But I hope it feels like a Heather Brewer book, because I love the feelings that you get when you're reading her books, if that makes any sense. I don't think I'm making any sense. I should probably shut up now. Anyway, Cemetery Boys. Books number 7 and 8 are The Astonishing Adventures of Fanboy and Goth Girl, and its sequel, Goth Girl Rising, by Barry Lyga. And like Neil Gaiman and like Heather Brewer, I will read basically anything that Barry Lyga writes, just because I love the way he writes, and I love, as I so incoherently said in my last entry, the feelings that he instills into his books. And I know this is not anything like I Hunt Killers, which is one of my favorite series of all time, like Miss Peregrine's, but I still want to read it. It still looks very interesting to me. It's about these two characters named Kyra and whatever the hell his actual name is, Fanboy, and it's a coming-of-age story. I don't think it's actually a romance. I don't know if it's a romance or if it's not a romance, but it's a coming-of-age story. It's a teenage book. So that should be very interesting to see. Also, the cover is shiny. This cover isn't so shiny, but this cover is very nice and shiny, and I like it. Oh, excuse me. Number 9 is There Will Be Lies by Nick Lake. I read one of his other books. I think he has 3 books. He has 3 books. I read one of his other books, which is Hostage 3, for my school book club a few weeks ago, and it was phenomenal. I loved Hostage 3. I loved the way that it was written. It was a very, very unique style. It didn't have quotation marks, for one thing. I'm not sure why, but it was written without quotation marks, and it was written in this very interesting first-person format thing. I don't know, you'll have to read it to understand what I mean. And if you're a fan of, like, contemporary, current event-based thrillers, then you would love Hostage 3 by Nick Lake, and I recommend that you pick that up. And I don't really know what There Will Be Lies is about, and I know it's not written in the same format as Hostage 3, which is kind of disappointing, because that was one of the things that I loved most about that book, but I'm still looking forward to reading this. I'm still looking forward to seeing how he does his other books, and hopefully I will enjoy it as much as I did the other one. It has a very, very bright yellow cover. And the 10th and final book I have is The Reformed Vampire Support Group by Catherine Jinks, which is possibly one of the coolest titles I have ever read. And in fact, that's why I was interested in it, because when I am bored, I like to go and derp around on Book Depository for hours, and I happened to come across a book on there one day called The Reformed Vampire Support Group. The one that I saw actually had a different cover, It was like this cartoon comic book style layout thing. It was a lot cooler than this, actually. Not that she doesn't look cool, but it was much cooler. And I didn't even remember the synopsis after I logged off. I just remembered the title and the cover and just how cool it sounds. I didn't remember who wrote it. I came across it a couple of times in the library and figured out who wrote it. But I had no idea what it was about. It's just, I have now because I read the synopsis, but it just looked so entertaining and so cool and so much like something that I would love that I just had to check it out. So I've been looking for it for months, couldn't find it, finally got it. Very much looking forward to reading it. Yes. Also, this review from the Bulletin said it has equal appeal for vampire fans and those who wouldn't be caught dead reading Twilight. Personally, I think those are the same thing, but that's another video topic for another day. Yes. Good book. Alright, so that is all of the books that I got for Christmas. I hope you have enjoyed watching me talk about them. I hope you also got some nice books for Christmas. Maybe I will be posting some reviews of these at some time. I hope you will check those out. And I don't have anything more to say. Goodbye.